Hey everybody, this is Peter Charcalisori today. So today is the very first in a series of introducing artisans. I'm calling it the Artisan Spotlight. So Shaving with Charky Artisan Spotlight. And I'm really proud to have Kelly Hogan with us. Kelly Hogan is the owner of Beaver, Woodwright shaving soaps, but he does much more, which we'll get into. So Kelly, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, Peter.
Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you.
Yeah,
so,
me too.
For those that don't know, that I actually met Kelly. Was it last month or a month and a half? About a month and a half ago.
It was last month in July.
Yeah. So last month he was in town. Really, I think like 15 minutes from me. So we met up for lunch. I met with his lovely wife Kitty, and it was great meeting you, Kelly. So good to speak to you again. And so I'm really happy that you're the first artisan. Doing this. This is kind of a cool concept. I don't know if it's going to work or not. We'll see how it turns out. But we'll give it our best shot here. So so why don't you tell us about Beaver Woodwright shaving soaps?
The soaps actually came about as a side note. What I started out doing was I started making pens. I wanted to make a pen, and it took me about 4 years to gather all the equipment to make a pen. And after a while, what happened was the components got really expensive for it, and I thought during that period I wanted to try and make a shaving brush and see if I could make my own. And from there, once I made the brush and I started showing it to people, everybody wanted a brush. So I thought, well, if I'm going to make brushes, maybe I should make like the stands and the shavers. So I started out making Mach 3s and fusions and matching stands. Well, that did really well. And a few people asked me, well, what do I use with the brush? What kind of soap and stuff? And that led me down a whole different path. So the soaps really came about as a side effect of the shavers and the brushes.
And were the shavers, were they just friends of yours? Or were you already involved in the wet shaving community?
It was actually just friends, and I was going around to different shows and selling them. You know, and once I knew that my friends were interested in them, I thought, well, you know, other people got to be interested in them too. So that's how that all started.
So I learned something when we met. You're a police officer. So how does a police officer get into this business?
This was, again, it was the pen turning was something, I like woodworking. And it was something to get my mind off of work and just get away from it, basically. So it was therapy for me, you know, to start out with.
Well, I can imagine. I know how stressful being a police officer is, especially nowadays. Tell us a little bit about the different products that you offer, because you're not just about shaving soaps, are you? You had touched on the handles, and we mentioned about the brushes. So I think you may have some samples.
Oh, I got a ton of stuff here.
All right, good.
Like I said, I make the AA safety razors. I make some straight razors. This is one I made for a friend. This is a green and gray Spectraply.
Nice.
So, and I just did one like this for a client who wanted one in like some earth tone colors and some reds. So that's got some browns, reds, and like tans in it.
I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that.
Basically, I've been teaching myself. All this stuff I taught myself how to do. Let's see here. I have some straights. I'll show you, or double-edged safety razors. I got two. Try to use all different kinds of woods. This is that's a Purdue candle. It's a South African wood. And then this is an example of an acrylic.
Wow, can you back up a little bit? Yeah, there you go. Now it's focused. Wow, that's gorgeous.
Thank you.
That's nice.
And I try to look for different materials when I do these. You know, something that's going to stand out.
Well, that certainly does. Do you have a preference in materials that you work with, whether it be for handles like that or shaving brushes or whatever else that you're doing, pens?
I really like the acrylics because you can't get the looks like this elsewhere. But I do like the diamond woods. I like true stone. Like this is, I know it's I'll hide the head so no one sees it. Uh, but that's an example of true stone. They call this denim. And this is a really heavy material. It's a gem quality stone that's crushed up and put under high pressure in a block of resin. And then you have to use carbide tools to turn it.
Nice.
But I do like working with diamond wood. And here's a good example of diamond wood here.
Is that similar to the material that you used on that straight razor that you showed?
Yes, this is called diamond wood.
Yep.
And the other one is spectraply. This is what they call spectraply. And basically, it's almost like plywood. But the nice thing about it, it has some water resistance built into it. I get the high grade of it. It has a lot of acrylic bonding agents when it's infused in it. So right out of the sheet, it has some water resistance. I wouldn't say it's completely waterproof, but I have to finish it with basically an acrylic finish. That's why it's so shiny.
Nice. Yeah, that's beautiful.
And then I have all kinds of razor or brushes. And of course, this is, like I said, this is how I started. This is pure black badger hair on a black and white acrylic.
Nice.
And I would say like my signature look would be these, what I call the barbershop series. I put the higher quality heads in. This is a 2-band silver tip, or a 2-band, I'm sorry, with the brass ferrule here and a blue and gray, or more teal and gray spectraply handle.
Wow. Spectraply.
Yeah. You see the different layers right there.
Yeah. So, all right. So I have, I told you earlier, I sent you that Boker. And I think my next one is going to be, I want a spectraply. Oh, that's nice too.
Now this is buffalo horn. It's actual buffalo horn that I sand and polish and build it up until I can get that shine.
Wow.
Doesn't smell great when you're working with it, but it really comes out nice.
Is that spectraply as well?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Yeah, you just get some stunning results with this stuff. And again, each time is different. And what I'll do is I'm turning them, see the little dot in there.
Yeah.
Try to put a design in that's going to show the grain of it off. So, and not everyone's a real winner.
All right, listen, if you keep it right there, how shiny it is, I can see me through that horn.
Yeah.
Through your computer
you can see
screen.
the reflection of the...
Yeah. Right there. That's cool. All right, that is seriously cool.
Right in here.
So, yeah. So, all right, so I have to ask you this question. And your brushes are beautiful. How come we haven't seen your I've never seen your brushes until recently. It should be a household name.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Up until probably maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I was never on Facebook. Because of what I do at work, Facebook is like the bane of our existence there, and you get nothing but grief out of it. And I thought, well, I'm going to just stay away from it. And I sort of figured one day, well, I got to try this. And I got an invite to the shave market. And ever since then, things have picked up.
That's where I first saw you, through the shave market. I think it was Rudd's. Rudd's was a big advocate right from the get-go.
Yes, this was. This is
wow, that's nice too.
I think I showed this on there. And that's what I mean. Some of these acrylics, you can't match that, Those are really different.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that.
So
that actually looks like almost like some sort of stone or something.
It's actually acrylic.
Yeah.
So, but what nice thing about that is it's waterproof. It's not going to hurt it. So, and I try to look for stuff like that when you're in a wet environment. You may be in the shower shaving with it, and I don't want it to be something that's going to get damaged for them. I want them to have it for a while.
Nice. Good. So let's get back to shaving soaps.
Okay.
So I've got a couple here. So I did a video with this Thomas 2. So I don't know if I'll show that. Hopefully you can see that with the camera. So this is these are your new tubs, which are a big improvement from the tins. I really like these. Well done, and waterproof and everything. And then there's which I'm real excited about, this Captain's Pipe.
Yeah.
So first I want to ask you, the one thing I noticed about your soaps that I'm really impressed with, and one of the biggest reasons why I wanted you to be among the first, and you turned out to be the first that I'm interviewing, but the feel of your soap is really unlike anything that I've experienced with the post shave. I gave you the example of almost like even when you're done and your face is dry, it actually feels like it's still wet. And
a bit moisture to it.
Yeah, and it just had it had a different feel than any of the other shaving soaps. And I don't know if this is a secret recipe or if you want to share, but there's something to it that's really quite different.
Well, it's the amount of ingredients that I put in. I started out with melt and pour, and honestly, that stuff was just complete crap. But I have these friends that are my test dummies, I call them, and I've tried. It took me 3 years to get to this. And this, like I said, the soaps were a side effect. I was trying to just produce something that was quickly, because I was doing a lot of turning, that was going to give them something that they could use right away. Well, after figuring out for a while, I wasn't happy with it. I just thought this was, it's horrible. It's not what I want. So I did a lot of testing and a lot of research to figure out, well, what makes a great soap. And after doing some reading, right away I figured out, well, melt and pour is not where it's at. So I did a lot of tests. And when I say it took me 3 years, it took me 3 years. It took me several renditions of just changing minute differences in the amounts of, like, the shea butter or the glycerin that I put in to up it to get that feel. Because I don't like it when you use a soap and you get a dry, like, tight feel, or the soap feel that, when you're washing your hands and you got that dry feel. I didn't want that. I wanted that moisturizing feel. And I can't tell you how many times I made a batch and it was just complete crap, And I ended up, one funny thing was I had a batch that I didn't really like, but my friends all like my soap. So we have a party and I put in a Chinese takeout container. It was almost 5 pounds of soap, and they were fighting over who was going to get that soap, and he's not going to run out of soap anytime soon.
So one guy got it?
One guy won it, yeah.
Now, was that the formulation that you're proud of, or was that you're still kind of testing and it wasn't quite?
That was probably three formulas out of where I'm at today.
So where you're at today is, would you say, significantly better than what?
Oh, day and night difference better. Really? Yeah, definitely.
I know you, just from seeing the interactions and speaking with other people that used your soap before I did, one thing that they were impressed with is that you really listen to the wet shaving community and took feedback. I think you heard a lot of good, positive feedback and areas of opportunity to improve. What would be the biggest thing that you've improved upon, would you say, from maybe past formulas?
The biggest thing is probably the packaging. I got to this formula and I thought, I like this formula. I think this is a good formula. The scent wasn't there. I found that out. What I did through the shave market, we did a pass around. And the reason I put all 9 soaps out there is I wanted to see what anyone had to say about it. And I was hoping to get some videos, getting some people to tell me what is it you don't like. The old ones didn't have the waterproof labels.
Yep.
And I had a black ribbon that went around, and I put the name of the soap on the side here. Well, one of the things I never would have thought of is when you open the tin, it cracked that label, and because it wasn't waterproof, it was ruining that label. So they didn't know what the name of the soap was. So I knew right away that had to change. And Brian Wells, I really appreciate everything he did because he pointed a lot of this out. And then some other people, Gonzo did a review on it. Trying to think, Ruds did a review. And I think even Jason Spiegelman did a review on it. And everyone had things to say. The biggest thing was the packaging, the tins not having waterproof labels. And frankly, I had a designer create my labels, the old ones, and I changed them. I didn't like them. So I came up with the new labels.
Nice.
And the
That
new
looks
designs.
good. No, it's a big, because I have both. I have the old tins that you have, where you had the tape around it, and then this is just significantly better. So,
well, what I saw was the tins ended up looked like someone played hockey with them. You know, they were just beat up, and I thought, wow, I don't want that to represent me. So I took everything they said. I wasn't offended by anything someone says. And I think they're helping me. They're helping me create something better. So I took it as that.
That's good. That's good. That's really good, and it shows without a doubt. So I'm real excited to try this Captain's Pipe.
Yeah.
The smell on this is really, really nice. So I first received the Aftershave from Kelly when I saw him. So Kelly made that especially for me, right? So
yeah, that actually wasn't going to come around. That I knew you liked tobacco scented soaps and aftershaves, so I thought, well, I knew I was going to meet you. I thought, well, I wanted to have something to give you, something you would like. So I sat down and I actually formulated that out in a day. And it came up, and that wasn't going to become anything. That wasn't going to become a soap or anything. I just wanted to make you some aftershave that I thought you might like. And that actually changed after I started getting all these people, well, when's that coming out? Or do you even make that? You know, when can I get the soap? And I'm thinking, talk to my wife. I said, you know, I think I better make that. So, and that's how that came about. That was just for you.
Well, thank you. Well, I don't know if you started something or I started something, but there seems to be a lot of tobacco scented soaps that have been coming on the marketplace of late. So,
yeah, it's great.
I love tobacco scented soaps. I was speaking to one guy, and he made the comment that none of these are really true tobacco, and I know what he was coming from. I mean, true tobacco, but these are. Whenever I mention about tobacco scented soaps, it has a tobacco component within it. So right. I don't know if there's any true tobacco where it's just a smoky tobacco. I mean, I don't know how great that would smell actually.
So, I don't know if I'd want to wear that.
Yeah, I don't know. I would try it. I mean, there's some out there that are pretty good at it, more tobacco-y type.
Maybe if we could put some chew tobacco.
There you go.
Rub it on, you get all these little things on your face.
Well, this is wonderful. This is very similar to, almost dead on with the aftershave. This has a little bit more cherry to it. The aftershave a little bit less so. And we touched on that, and you had mentioned because you didn't want the guys smelling like cherries all day.
Yeah, you didn't want to run around smelling like a Shirley Temple or something.
That's right. That's right.
One of the things I was hitting on with the Captain's Pipe is my uncle, growing up, smoked Captain Black's cherry tobacco, pipe tobacco. I loved that scent. And that's something I was trying to hit with this. I think I came close.
Yeah,
I'm not dead on, but it's
nice. It's nice. I really like it a lot. So, and the Thomas too, which was my first time shaving with your soap, I was so impressed with it. I even like the I don't know if you I'm holding this to the camera, but it's got a yellowish color to it. And the same thing with your aftershave. I didn't even touch on your aftershaves are tremendous.
Thank you.
I mean, really, really nice. I mean, very soothing to the skin and very nourishing. So, this is becoming like a love fest. But yeah, I'm telling you the truth. I mean, really, really impressed with your soaps, and I think it's going to get. I think a lot of people are talking about it now. So,
that's great.
Which is nice. Now, you're a good guy, so I wish you well with your business. And there's a lot going on. So you have soaps, you have razors, and all these other things, brushes. So I'm looking forward to my shave market brush. I think I received a notification. Look at that.
Yeah, I really like this.
Hold it back a little bit. Now it's in focus. Wow, that's gorgeous.
A lot of depth to this.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
And that's one of the things I look for. If I'm picking out a blank, I look for something that's going to be different from the others. I mean, you can see just the color in it is phenomenal.
Do you have a preference on what you're doing with your time in this business, whether it be soap making or turning brushes?
I really like all of this, and it's like a balancing act that I'll go out and I'll turn some, and then maybe tomorrow I go and start making soaps and aftershaves. But I'll tell you, the soaps and aftershaves have been building. I've been getting so many requests for it that I'm really working on that end. I still want to be able to do my turnings and make my shavers and stuff and the straight razors, because that's something I just enjoy.
Yeah, yeah.
But I really like making the different scents. I'm sort of a tinkerer, you know, or what do they say? The one that's a master of, you know, I don't master anything.
Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades.
Well, it looks like you've mastered some of those handles.
Oh yeah,
I mean, they're really beautiful.
I don't try to make everyone the exact same. I don't like doing like a cookie cutter type thing. And someone can say, well, that's definitely Kelly Hogan's or the Beaver Woodwright, so we know that's in.
Right.
I try to change it up and make different things and make it look different. Just variety is a spice, right?
Indeed, yeah. And also, but it keeps things interesting for you, but also interesting for everyone else, because there's no limit to what you can do. I mean, there's a lot to be said for having a signature, and that's all you do. There's guys like that, and they're really successful, and they make beautiful brushes. And then guys like Nathan Clark, there's like no two alike.
And I like his stuff. I mean, he's got really nice brushes. I think he does a fantastic job.
What I like about, and I haven't seen him in person, but just through the pictures that I've seen, and right now, there's a shine to your brushes that I really like a lot.
Yeah,
and,
that's it. If you knew what the finish is, you wouldn't believe me. It's just a super glue finish.
Really?
Yeah.
So, but I've heard other guys use super glue, and some others aren't that shiny.
Well, it's how they're applying it and how many steps you take to finish it. I first of all, I'll put anywhere from 12 to 15 coats of finish on. They're thin coats, and you're building and building and building up until you get that final luster that I want. But then you have to sand it, and sanding is not fun. But you have to do it, and you have to do it in a certain manner to get all the low spots and high spots even, or you won't get that shine.
Right, right.
And then there's 13 steps to polishing it. And then after they're polished, I buff them. And there's 5 steps to the buffing. So there's a lot of work involved in it, but it's fun. It's something I like. And I just go out there and work.
So that's probably the difference, all the steps. So people probably do many of the same things, but maybe not quite all the steps that you take, and maybe each one makes a difference. So good. So I'm really looking forward to shaving with this Captain's Pipe.
Let me know what you think of it.
Oh yeah, I definitely will. Well, I know I'm going to like it. So I love the scent, and if the performance is anything like the Thomas 2. Oh, that reminds me, I wanted to ask you. So everything's like a pirate theme.
Right.
Yeah, how did you come up with that?
Well,
because there's James Moody, there's Barnacle Bob.
Yes, Shiver Me Timbers. Funny thing, Shiver Me Timbers was One-Eyed Peppermint Jack before, and I changed it to Shiver Me Timbers. I think it just fit. There's James Moody, Thomas 2, the Captain's Pipe, Shipwreck Cove, Pirates Bay. You know, everything's going to come out with that. And Blackbeard. Blackbeard is how it all started. My very first soap I called Blackbeard. It's Bay Rum and Lime. And I thought, well, Bay Rum, that's something the pirates used to put on to clean themselves up, give them a little better smell, because they probably stunk after being out on the seas for a while.
Right.
So they had to go see the ladies and didn't want to stink. But that's how Blackbeard came about. I thought, well, Bay Rum Lime, what about Blackbeard? And my wife was like, yeah, that sounds good. So, and then from there, I kept the pirate theme going. And it almost got nixed. We had a designer in between this, and she was like, well, that's not a really professional name. And I was like, but everybody knows it. I want to keep it that way. And so everything's going to be a pirate theme now.
All right, good. So. I like it. So I'm going to be shaving a bit with Captain's Pipe. So I wanted to thank you I really appreciate you being the first in this Artisan series, this Artisan Spotlight series. So I wish you all the best. I'm really impressed with your work. I'm looking forward to that brush. So awesome. I ordered it, as you know, and I just received notification today that it was sent out. I think that was from you. It was. I received a PayPal thing that it was sent out. Was that not from you? I've ordered so many damn things. So
I don't know if that's for me.
All right, so that's something else. But I thought it said. I thought it said Beaver Woodwright.
I'll have to check and see. Maybe I sent something else out to you.
Yeah. All right. Well, in any case, I'll whatever it is, I look forward to. Well, maybe it's not you. I ordered. You know what? I got a big problem. I really do. I ordered too many soaps, too many everything. So I'm on lockdown now.
You're gonna have to go to Shavers Anonymous.
Oh, you know, there's a forum for that. Actually, there actually is. I'm a member. you know, I didn't join up. You know who signed me up? Chris Cullen.
Oh, did
there was a point that Chris Cullen didn't even want to sell me soaps.
That's bad when people begging and don't want to sell it to you.
It's bad. It's bad. So anyway, really good to talk to you.
Well, I want to thank you. Really great to have you do this for me and invite me here.
Well, my pleasure. And we'll talk to you soon. Now I have to look up and I have to check in my email and see who the hell sent me that package.
Okay.
All right, buddy.
All right, take care, Peter.
All right, take care. All right, bye-bye. And everyone, it's a real pleasure, and I'm going to go shave with the soap now. Talk to you later.